Not every storm in life ends with a sudden moment of relief. Sometimes the rain stops quietly. The sky begins to clear little by little. And before you even realize it, the hardest part has already passed. But what many people don't talk about is what comes next. The first day after the storm. The day when the crisis is over, yet the healing is only beginning. The day when life slowly starts to settle again, and you're left figuring out how to move forward. This reflection is about that quiet moment, the beginning that happens after survival. The storm had finally passed. Not suddenly. Not with some dramatic moment where the clouds split open and the sun rushed in. It ended the way most storms do, slowly. The rain became lighter. The wind softened. The sky turned from heavy gray into something a little easier to breathe under. And then there it was, morning. The first day after the storm. People often imagine that once the storm is over, everything should immediately feel better. Clearer, brighter, as if the moment the rain stops, life should somehow reset. But the first day after a storm doesn't feel like a celebration. It feels quiet. The streets are still wet. Branches lie scattered along the sidewalks. Puddles collect in places no one noticed before. Nothing is broken beyond repair, but nothing looks untouched either. And in many ways, healing after a difficult season in life feels exactly the same. The emergency has passed. The hardest moment is behind you. But the healing, that part is only just beginning. On the first day after a storm, no one rushes outside pretending the rain never happened. Instead, people move slowly. They step carefully around puddles. They begin picking things up little by little. Not everything is fixed in a single day. But something important begins. A return. A return to small routines. A return to quiet effort. A return to the simple work of rebuilding. The first day after the storm isn't about proving strength. It's about allowing gentleness. Because surviving something difficult takes energy most people don't even realize they're using at the time. Holding yourself together during hard moments requires strength. Staying steady while life feels uncertain requires courage. And when that pressure finally lifts, what many people feel isn't excitement, it's exhaustion. That's why the very first step after the storm is rarely a giant leap forward. It's something much quieter. A deep breath, a slow walk, a moment of stillness where someone realizes they made it through. The world after the storm often looks different. Not ruined, just rearranged. Some things that once felt important don't carry the same weight anymore. Some worries that once filled every thought suddenly seem smaller. Storms have a way of changing perspective. They remind people of what truly matters. They remind people of their own resilience. But resilience doesn't mean rushing forward as if nothing happened. Resilience sometimes looks like giving yourself permission to move slowly. On the first day after the storm, healing begins in very ordinary ways. Opening the window and letting fresh air in. Making a simple meal. Taking a walk outside and noticing how the world smells different after rain. Small steps. Quiet moments. Little reminders that life still continues. There's something powerful about those first small steps because they signal something important to the heart and mind. You're allowed to begin again. Not perfectly, not completely healed, but honestly. Storms rarely leave life exactly the way it was before, but they often leave something else behind. Clarity, strength, perspective, and sometimes a deeper appreciation for calm days that once felt ordinary. The first day after the storm isn't about rushing back into everything. It's about reconnecting with yourself, checking in with what you need, giving yourself space to rebuild your rhythm, because healing isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It happens quietly, in small decisions, in patient moments, in the choice to keep moving forward, even if that movement is slow. The truth is, storms will always come and go in life. But every storm is followed by a first day like this. A day where the air feels a little clearer. A day where the world begins to settle. A day where someone realizes they're still standing. And that realization carries a quiet kind of power. Because beginning again doesn't require perfection. It only requires willingness. Willingness to take the first step. Willingness to breathe deeply. Willingness to believe that calm days are still ahead. The storm may have changed the landscape, but it didn't take away your ability to move forward. And sometimes the most meaningful progress in life doesn't happen during the storm. It happens on the first quiet morning after it. When someone steps outside, looks around at the wet streets and scattered leaves, and decides gently, patiently, to begin again. Healing rarely arrives all at once. More often, it begins the way calm returns after a storm, slowly, quietly, and in ways that are easy to overlook. A deep breath, a small step forward, a simple decision to keep going. And sometimes that's enough. Because beginning again doesn't require everything to be perfect. It only requires the courage to move forward, one quiet step at a time. Together, let's move from doubt to power, one story at a time.